everybody, Mark from Northeast Sebastian. How you doing? Well, I want to do a bait and focus on a bait that I use a lot, especially now that the water's getting colder. I use it a lot in the spring. I don't really throw them as much in the summertime. To me, this is more of an early season, late season, bait that I focus on, at least this size. And the bait I'm talking about is the Beast Coast SlowFlow, the 2.85-inch SlowFlow. And they also have the 3/8-inch, but that is on sale on the site. I'm wondering if they're discontinuing it. I don't know that for a fact. So I have a few of the 3/8, which is a bigger, not that big, but the inch bigger swim bait. But the one I think that really shines when that water is cold is that smaller size. So I'm going to go through the colors with you and some of the ways I like to rig this. I know some of the colors on the website I think maybe they just changed the name a bit. Because the first one on the Pro Blue red iridescence, mine just says Pro Blue. Now I think that's probably the same thing, but if they've changed it, tweaked the color a little bit, I'm sure I'll grab it and add it to the arsenal. But I'm assuming they just maybe tweak the name, because it certainly looks like it has a little red iridescence to it. So if you guys have not seen the SlowFlow before, here is what you got. You've got a soft plastic finesse swim bait, 2.85-inch. They reek like garlic, which is awesome, so I don't even have to put any scent on them. And these are really, really very effective when you're just kind of slow rolling the bottom, light jig head. And, the bait this time of year is very small, and this matches it perfectly. So that is, just how the body style looks. You've got your little boot tail swim bait, a couple little fins there underneath. You've got, some eyeballs molded in there, a little side fin action. It does have a nice little, slot up there on top that helps you line up your hook when you're rigging it. And we'll talk about rigging at the end. But these work really, really well. Did very well with these in the spring. I'm sure I'll do very well with them in the fall. I did well with them last fall. So that is, now, like I said, my pack just says Pro Blue. On the website, it says Pro Blue Red Iridescence. I kind of think that's the same thing. I think they might have just changed the color a little bit, or they probably don't want to put all that writing on there, that that rating on the color there on the package. So that's the first color on the list. The Alewife is the next one, another excellent color. I have caught fish on pretty much every color I think here. There's some I prefer just because I have confidence in them, but they all work. I kind of base it on water clarity and things like that, but the Alewife is kind of a standby. It's that, traditional bait fish color. You've got, your dark black top, you've got some purple flake, it looks like some blue flake, maybe some gold, some gold in there, and maybe some other ones I'm missing. You got the silver on the bottom with all the other silver flake. This looks really good in the water, the Alewife. Another good option for you. And I believe it's, let me just double check, I think the 2/8 is a 7-pack. 7. So they come in the nice clamshell, so the tails are nice and straight. They don't get all bent up. It swims straight right out of the pack. So there is your Alewife color. Well, I'll put these back at the end of the video so you don't have to hear me going through all the all the paper at the end. This is just pure pearl, which is one I really like. A white swim bait is hard to beat. Like I even said earlier, I believe, when you get that water is a little dirty, this is a good way to go. A good starting point is like a nice pearl white swim bait. And there you go. A good standby color. Looks very natural in the water. Make sure I get those tails back in straight. There's a nice look at that pack. So that's the pure white. I believe this is Dirty Perch, the next one, which is one of my favorite colors. And these are pretty durable, I have to say. If you're throwing like a smaller Kitech, they're great, but, they do tear up. These are pretty, I've gone through a few packs of them only because I've used them a lot. I believe this is my second pack of Dirty Perch that I'm on. And I'll probably buy another pack when I'm at the show or online, but that's a great color right there, the Dirty Perch. You've got your, chartreuse-like belly, You got the green pumpkin on top. You've got the different flake in there, the gold, the black, looks like some green. I'm probably missing some orange, a little bit of different of everything. But the Dirty Perch is a good starting point. It's usually, it might be the first one that I usually try just to see how they're reacting to the swim bait. Because it's just such a natural color. But Dirty Perch is a good way to go. I've always liked that color in their baits. And I think I even have that in the 3/8. But I'll show you those at the end. I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. The fact that they're on sale makes me think maybe they might be discontinuing that size. Let's see. Pearl Gold Flash. Pearl Gold Flash. Kind of looks like that alewife color. Anything that's got, some pearl to it, and then it's got some flash, that's going to be a fish catcher right there. Another excellent option. Pearl Gold Flash. You got your pearl, you've got your gold, some purple flake in there. I don't know if that's not really a black on top. It's just more like a smoke, I would say. A bit darker smoke on top, but very cool. As you can see, all the colors are really fish, catching type colors. And it depends what you have, what colors you like to throw too, what you have faith in. But that's a good one. Pearl Gold Flash. The next one, Natural Shad. Let's see if I have these in the right order. I do. Natural Shad is getting low. It's time for some new ones of that. Another color I like that I tend to start with. Only got a few left in here, but that's a really cool color. It's kind of like that previous one, but it's a darker top, and they've got gold and black flake on the bottom there, but really cool. Natural Shad. Check that one out. I think you guys will like that one. Alrighty. This is a Dope Gill, a color I like a lot too. I kind of like this one, and I go back and forth with this and the Dirty Perch on, where I'm going to start. But that Dope Gill is a cool color too. Your greenish, a little kind of like a, orangish, orange-like. I don't want to say chartreuse because it's really not. But like a green top, and it's kind of like maybe like a watermelon, a light watermelon underneath it. But it's definitely a two-tone, as you can see. It does look orange when the light goes through it. So I guess you could call it orange if you'd like. But Dope Gill is a cool color. Definitely a fish catcher. Let's see. This one is Chartreuse Pearl, I believe. Now, they call it Chartreuse Shad on their website. Maybe they don't make this one anymore and they've changed it. To me, they look kind of the same. When I bought it, it was called Chartreuse Pearl. To me, it looks exactly the same as what's on the website. So it's another good color. The smallmouth will just love that. Chomp on that one. You've got your chartreuse top, your clear underneath with some black flake in there. Looks like some silver flake on top. A great, if you want to, the smallmouth will probably love this one. Not that they won't eat all of them, but this will really show up. You're fishing like dirty water this time of year. If I fish the river, the water's going to be murky. Those brighter colors should shine. As long as the pike decide not to steal them. We don't need that. Because then I lose my hook and everything. Let's see. Swimbait. Goby. Goby color. I might be getting low on that. I know I've used a few of those in the spring. Let's see. Actually, in the spring I was throwing mostly the black one and doing well. The Goby color is very cool too. That green, like green pumpkin watermelon like top there with the different flakes in it. The gold, the black, the purple. Even got a flake right on the eyeball, so it almost looks like it's got an eyeball. And then it's like a bluish belly. So very cool. If your lake has gobies, why not give it a try? So that's the Goby color. All the colors are excellent. Let's see. Sexy Shad, another one I like. If you want something with a little more blue in it, that sexy shad, you've got the blue on top. I would assume some blue flake and black flake in there. Yep, you got the silver belly, blue, gold, silver flake, maybe some black flake too. Looks like some black flake in there too, a little bit, a bunch of flakes in there. So sexy shad, another bait fish looking color. You know, and if you could match the minnows in your lake, you know, as best you can, it does go a long way to getting bites this time of year when the fish are getting a little stingy. Yes, I definitely was using black in the spring. I don't have that many left in here. If I don't get any before the outdoor show, black will definitely be, you'll get a bag or two of those. This is really a great color to start with. Clear water, dark water, it doesn't matter. I don't know what it is with just black swim baits, but they just get caught. I guess they just, show well in the water. Obviously in dark water you would think you'd see it well, but in crystal clear water where you think fish would be kind of shy away from it and want more of those natural colors, black just catches them. Black is a great option. And I definitely need another pack of black. That is on the list. And last but not least, another cool color. I'm getting a little low on that one too. That dark green pumpkin. You can see the colors that I tend to use more are getting a little low on. So if you just want like a dark green pumpkin is a good one, good option. You can always take your dye markers, put a little chartreuse line on there if you want to. I haven't really done it that much with the small swim baits, but you can do it. Give them get a little red on there with the dye marker, maybe a little chartreuse, a little orange, just to give it a little, stand out a little. But that's it. That is the, it's 12 colors, so you don't have to go too crazy with colors. Really, it's personal preference, what you have confidence in. I think they're all good. If you've never thrown the bait before, I think I'd start with the black. The perch is a great color. They're really all, good. It just depends on, what you like to throw. The goby looks great. When you look at them individually, they all look, fantastic. So, I like the dope gill, but they're all good. Really, it's up to you, and maybe what bait fish you have in your lake. Now, they do have the 3/8 size. I'll show you quick. And it is only, well, let me double check, make sure it's on all the colors. If I just click on the dark green pumpkin, 2.85 inch, $5.99, 3.8 inch, $2.99. So they're all on sale for $3. So my guess is that they might not be making this size anymore. I think it's good. Now, granted, and this is probably why I do throw the small size more. So maybe, it's not going to sell. Companies aren't going to keep making that size. Maybe they have a different size they're coming up with. I don't know. Let me show it to you because it is still available. And if you can get them cheap, why not give them a try? Not that I think they're pretty reasonably priced anyway. And this is the alewife color. And that's the 3/8. Now, that's not a huge swim bait. I don't see why, fish wouldn't eat that. I don't know why it wouldn't be a popular size, but, guys want more finesse-y size swim baits, I guess. But, that's not a huge bait. It's not a huge chunk of plastic. You can definitely throw that around. If I threw it on one of these football heads, I could do it very easily. I'll show you how I rig these in a sec here. And I love that they have that slit there that makes it easy to, there's nothing wrong with that, swimming that around. That's a pretty good sized gap hook. That'll get eaten. So, I don't know why the lack of, who knows? They could be just doing a different color line. I'm not sure. But whatever the reason, they are available. So the alewife and the 3/8, it's a 5-pack. Very cool. Get them while you can. I have, you can tell the colors I really like to throw. The dope gill and the 3/8. So if any of you guys out there know if the 3/8 is going to be discontinued, let me know. The fact it's on sale makes me think it is, unless they're just having a sale. That could be it too. But, that looks great. Fish are going to eat that. And of course I have the Dirty Perch in the 3/8. Which really looks good. You can really see the flake shining on that coming out. So that's the 3.8 SlowFlow. Those are the 3 colors I have. And I think it's good. I think it's good. It'd be too bad if it went away, but I know that happens. Things come and go. But, you know, I think the popular one is the 2/8. And let me just talk about to you guys about some of the, if you guys can see that packaging, I'll give you another. I think their packaging, I know these are older packs, their packaging has changed, so I'm showing you the packaging, and you know that you guys are familiar with Beast Coast, you know their packaging has changed, and I assume it is on all the baits. Now, how I like to rig these. Now, I'm just throwing this on a spinning setup, 6-pound fluoro, 8 at the most. I don't go 10, I don't go 4. I do like these. These are these, let me make sure I get the right pack here. These are these Z-Man football Neds, finesse football jig heads. I've talked to you guys about these before. I like these on the small swim baits. They work very well. They're very easy to rig up. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go with a dark green pumpkin. Why not? You know, it's a small 1/0 hook. It's a small swim bait, so you know you just go through the snout. You've got that little slit up top for you guys who are new to swim bait fishing, and just go straight. Always want to rig your swim baits straight so they run well. You don't want them to run crooked on you. And with this bait, I just kind of go until I get right to where that slot is. And you'll see it on the back of the bait. And that's when I turn the hook up and just cinch it down. And it has a little keeper on there that'll keep it in place. And you're ready to go. I mean, that is about the easiest way of fishing that I can think of. I chuck it out, let it sink a little bit, and just slow roll it back to the boat. And you know, it's really effective, especially if the fish are around rock and stuff. You know, in the spring you're getting them coming up, so if they're moving up shallow in the spring, you can kind of intercept them there coming into the shallow rocks. Maybe they're getting ready to spawn. It's a good way to cover water then. This time of year, they might be a little deeper. And you can just throw this out, let it sink. That's why I bought some of these 1/4 ounce size. This is the bigger size, right? Let me make sure I got the right one. Oh, that's not the 1/4 ounce size. Where did I do with those 1/4 ounce size? There they are. I did buy some of these bigger sizes if I want to fish deeper. This is the 1/4 ounce size, so you can see the difference between the 3/16 on the right in the black and the 1/4 ounce here on the left in the green pumpkin. So, you know, all depending on the depth you want to fish, this 1/4 ounce will definitely get the bait deeper for you. So I like to play around with both sizes and try them out, and just throw it out and just slow roll it. Let it get down, you know, get it down 8, 10, 12, 15, depends on where the fish are. Let them tell you where it is, and just slowly, and you'll feel that kicking along that tail every now and then. Tap a rock and hold on, because it'll just load up. That's one of my favorite heads to use. Another head I use, and I thought I brought them on the table, but now that I've moved stuff around, I don't see them. I know they're here, and I'm sure I'll find them, but they are buried. If I have to go in the box and get another one, I will. So I'll just do it. And then I'm sure I'll find the ones that I took out. I left them here just to show you guys, and now I don't know where I put them. I'm sure they're buried in all these other. Oh, I got it. Yes, that's easier. Another one I like these Kitech tungsten heads. You guys have probably seen these. These Kitech tungsten heads are good. I use those to rig them up and swim. It's the same thing. It's just a ball head instead of a football head. These work really well too. I'll show you one of the. What I do is I just this is my tungsten box. I'll just like that's like an 1/8 with a 1/0 hook. It's that, you know, that tungsten super round head. You guys have seen these from Kitech. I like them for that. They're good for swim baits. They have different sizes depending on the size of the swim bait you're using. So those are always a good option, especially here in a tungsten state. It's good to have it. Another thing I do, those are kind of my two main jig heads that I use. I do have one other one that I guess I should show you since Beast Coast makes it. Let me see where I put that. You can see I've been cleaning up here. There's all the Swimbait, so there's all the Swimbait heads in here. Now you can use, now I tend to use those football heads more than this head, even though I like it. But their Swimbait sled head is a cool option too. You guys have used it and like it. That's your go-to. That's excellent. So this is a 3/8 ounce. So if these are the bigger size ones I would use on a 3/8. Let me see. So that's a 3/8 raw color, 3/8 1/0. That I can get with, but I have here we go. Most of the ones I have are 3/8. I bought those to fish deeper. If you guys haven't seen these before, here's a 1/8 sled, Swimbait sled, 1/0 natural pearl 3-pack. So if you guys haven't seen these from Beast Coast, it's a good way to rig your SlowFlow. Now, if you're going to throw this small size, if I can get it open, I'll show it to you. I would use this guy here. Because you can cinch that on there and just slow roll it on the bottom the same way. And this will have that same effect of that football head. It'll bang against the rocks. Let's see, where's that white pearl one? Here we go. That should line up pretty good on here. So if I was going to throw this white head, I would use the white Swimbait. Nice and straight. Come out in the middle there. Oops, that's definitely crooked. There we go, that's a little better. And then it has like a double keeper, so it really keeps it on there. So am I going to swim that and bang it on the bottom? That sled works pretty good. Now I tend to use the football head more, but if you guys like these are good options too. Whatever it is you like to use, I'm sure there's other, jig heads you guys use that I'm talking about. But that's another good option. I do have a lot of the 3/8 ounce size that I was using, like on those bigger sizes. So that's what they look like. I'll show you one of the bigger size here in the sled. So if you want to fish deeper, you're fishing a bigger Swimbait. It doesn't have to just be a Beast Coast Swimbait. It could be whatever Swimbait you want to use. But if you just like that style of head, how that Swimbait kind of sticks right in there, keeps it protected, and then you can bang it off the bottom and swim it and bang the bottom. There's the 3/8. So that you can get if you're fishing even deeper. If I know I'm going to fish like 20, 15, 20, 25, I'll get these 3/8 ounce ones out and just try it. Just see if the fish are there. Work the different, depth levels just to see where the fish are hanging out. And this is a good option right here for a bigger, heavier jig head to get that bait down there. The last thing I do is I put it on a hair jig, and you can use whatever hair jig you like to use. A Swimbait on a hair jig can be very effective. And if I was going to throw, here's a dope gill. See how that fits on there. This is just a MTO Lures, Bill Alexander. Let me make sure I'm straight. Where's my hook? Oh, there it goes. All that hair in the way. Now, if I just cinch that down, then my hair will get pushed up a little in the hair jig, but that's okay, because it'll come back into place when you start throwing it. But if you want a trailer for a hair jig, don't discount a small 2.8 inch Swimbait. It'll definitely add some action to your hair jig. You've got that hair kind of puffing out as it goes. You've got that little bit of a tail action. You can swim it. You can pop it along the bottom, get a little tail action. So a hair jig is not a bad idea with a Swimbait. If you guys have ever tried it, you probably know it's pretty good. I will definitely try it once that water gets cold. That is definitely a technique that I'm always throwing a hair jig, so why not add a little swim bait action to it? But that's kind of pretty much how I rig them up, these small swim baits. You know, whatever jig head you guys like to use, if there's other ones than one I talked about, that's fine. But if you haven't tried the Beast Coast SlowFlow, check it out. Lots of cool colors. It reeks like garlic. That's awesome. You know, I love that. You know, start with the black, start with the dirty perch. You know, some of those shad colors, try them. You know, if you guys like the chartreuse, they're all good. They're all good. Not overly expensive. If you guys who go to the show this winter, pick them up there at the show. I'm sure they'll be there. But it's a great bait. It's a great bait. And it's very effective, these small swim baits, as this water gets cooler. They just work. That's when I think they shine, when that water is, you know, going to be down now in the 50s, approaching the 40s. Now that our nights are colder, that's going to be really, you know, kind of the way to go. You know, you're going to be throwing the blade baits, you're going to be throwing the hair jigs, you're going to be throwing the small swim baits. And check them out. And all these 3/8s are on sale. So if you guys haven't checked the Beast Coast website in a while, and you like the 3/8, check it out. You can get it for $2.99 a pack. You can't beat that. But that's it, guys. So I just wanted to kind of do a bait and focus on this. I was kind of looking at some other baits that I throw in the fall and thought this bait deserved a, you know, its own video, instead of just lumping all the small swim baits together into one video. But you know, those the Z-Man finesse football heads are great. The Kitex are great. If you guys like the sled head, that sled from Beast Coast, that's a good option. Don't discount using it on a hair jig. That really works well. And that's it. So, you know, so guys, you know, do that, you know, check out, I'll put the link to Beast Coast and you guys can check it out. I'll put a link to the Beast Coast site. You can check out the swim bait, and I'm sure they're on all the other websites too, but might as well buy directly from them. And that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Any questions, let me know. And like I said, I'll put links to these. You can check them out. And the different jig heads, I'll put links to those. And you guys can check it out online, all right? So I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.